Succubi are a species that sustain themselves by maintaining a group of men from whom they extract life essence. However, Astarotte Igvar, the crown princess, despises men. Faced with constant pressure from Judith, her chief advisor, to mature and begin assembling her harem, she reluctantly agrees to start, but only with a human male. In the creature world, humans are deemed legendary beings, having not been seen for a millennium. But to her immense frustration, her advisor Judith manages to successfully venture into the human realm to find a man named Neaya Tohara, a short guy with a pleasant manner, and accepts Judith's proposal to join Astarotte's harem and become its first member. Neaya is presented to Astarotte, but she adamantly refuses to interact with him. Through conversations, Neaya discovers that when Astarotte was a child, she stumbled upon her mother, Mercilida Igvar, in an intimate encounter with a member of her harem. This traumatic experience led Astarotte to develop a deep-seated aversion to men, and caused a rift between her and her mother. Determined to alleviate her loneliness and build a connection, Neaya painstakingly crafts a replica of Astarotte's cherished childhood doll. Touched by his effort, Astarotte agrees the next day to allow Neaya into her harem, with the stipulation that he serves as her toy. Neaya brings his 10-year-old daughter, Asuva, to the creature world. When Astarotte discovers their ages, she becomes upset, but Asuva quickly comes to her father's defense. To apologize, Asuva decides to enroll in Astarotte's school. There, she befriends Mist, Yuna, and Luca, who admit they've never had the nerve to approach Astarotte. As Asuva and Astarotte reconcile, rumors spread about a human male on the school grounds. This human male is actually a runaway llama from a nearby zoo. The llama goes on a rampage, and Mist, Yuna, and Luca courageously step in to protect Astarotte until Neaya arrives and calms the animal down. Following this incident, Astarotte forms a friendship with the other girls, who begin affectionately calling her Lot. The students at the school receive invitations for their parents to attend a parent-teacher party. Astarotte doubts her mother, Mercilida, will be able to attend due to her busy schedule. However, Asua urges her to visit Mercilida personally to make sure. Accompanied by Zelda, Astarotte goes to Mercilida's palace. After overhearing some disgruntled comments from the palace staff, Astarotte leaves the invitation behind and heads home. At the party, Astarotte playfully taunts her rival, Ilika, about her supposed relationship with Neaya. However, she later feels dejected when Mercilida doesn't show up. Mercilida, who had arrived late, and was returning to her palace after missing her daughter, has a sudden change of heart. She decides to visit Astarotte's palace instead. Upon arrival, she encounters Neaya and Asuha, who is revealed to be her daughter, also known as Asuhariot. Neaya is torn when Mercilida reappears, as she had disappeared 3 years ago after a brief encounter that left him with Asuha. Mercilida leaves abruptly without allowing Neaya a chance to speak. Later, Judith discloses to Neaya that Mercilida is the queen, making Asuva and Astarotte half-sisters, and urges him to keep this information from Astarotte. Determined to talk to Mercilida, Neaya and Asuva disguise themselves as maids and sneak into the palace. They are discovered by one of the queen's servants, who coincidentally selects Neaya to escort Mercilida based on her prior request. During their meeting, Neaya expresses his gratitude to Mercilida for bringing Asuha into his life. As they converse, Mercilida reveals that she hid Asuva in the human realm to spare her from the same fierce rivalry with sisters for the throne that she had endured. Observing that Astarotte is still feeling downhearted, Neaya persuades Mercilida to visit Astarotte's class, making it a special day where everyone's parents could attend. This visit helps Astarotte and Mercilida reconcile and strengthen their bond. When Astarotte receives tickets to an amusement park, she becomes annoyed with everyone relying on Neaya. Later that night, she goes missing, and Neaya eventually finds her by the World Tree. During their argument, Astarotte accidentally activates the gate, and is transported to the human world. Desperate to find a way to bring her back, Neaya and Asuva seek out a sage named Sorvake. To meet with her, they must solve a riddle, which Asuva cleverly answers using her underwear. They are introduced to the sage, Ingrid Sorvake Sorgrums, who explains that the gate is connected to the Succubus race. Ingrid agrees to assist them, but she quickly discovers that due to the absence of magic in the human world, Astarotte lacks the necessary power to reactivate the gate. Neaya ventures to the human world to restore Astarotte's magic so she can return home. However, Astarotte is still upset with him and attempts to lock him out of his house, though her efforts prove futile. After they reconcile, Neaya kisses Astarotte on her forehead, restoring her magic and enabling her to return to the demon world. As an apology, Neaya takes Astarotte to an amusement park. Meanwhile, Ilika brings Asuva along to the same park. To challenge Astarotte's claimed adulthood, Ilika dares her to enter a haunted house. Terrified, Astarotte ends up wetting herself. Upset and embarrassed, Neaya comforts her by admitting he wet the bed until he was 12. Upon returning home, they find that Ingrid has moved her tower closer to the castle. Everyone is taken aback when Ingrid suddenly kisses Neaya on the lips. A prince from the Sparthid Empire, Sigurd Sveinsson Sparthid, encounters Astarotte in town and immediately falls in love with her. Determined to win her heart, he sneaks into her school and boldly declares his intention to marry her in front of her and her friends. Astarotte becomes irritated with Neaya for not reacting when this happened. Later that night, Sigurd sneaks Astarotte out of the castle, hoping to get an answer to his marriage proposal. However, Neaia arrives just in time and persuades Astarotte to return with him. During their escape, Neaia deftly avoids Sigurd's attacks, ensuring Astarotte's safe return to the castle. Astarotte and her friends head to a private beach for a day of fun and relaxation. Coincidentally, Mercilida is visiting another part of the same beach and crosses paths with Astarotte. They have a heartwarming conversation about how Astarotte is growing closer to Asuva and forming a genuine friendship. After parting ways with her mother, Neaia falls ill with a fever and appears to be experiencing discomfort in a particular area. Concerned, Astarotte and her friends decide to prepare some get-well food for him, enlisting Sigurd's help. Meanwhile, Judith urges Neaia to advance the intimate aspect of his relationship with Astarotte, adding pressure to the already complicated situation. A festival honoring the World Tree is underway, and Astarotte's friends pitch in to assist her in preparing for a singing performance. Following some rigorous rehearsals and a refreshing bath, the girls, accompanied by Neaia, make their way to the festival grounds. Along the way, they briefly encounter Sigurd. Despite her nerves, Astarotte takes the stage for her performance. As the moment arrives, Asuva steps in to support her by joining in the singing, easing Astarotte's anxiety and enhancing their performance. After the festival concludes, Asuva raises the topic of what Neaia plans to do once summer vacation draws to a close. Astarotte develops a crimson clover-shaped mark on her back, believed to be a sign of her maturing into adulthood. Judith seizes the opportunity to pressure Neaia into fulfilling his responsibilities. However, Judith later discovers it's not the same mark, rather, it correlates with the leaves of the World Tree turning red. Meanwhile, Neaia and Asuva begin experiencing strange sensations. Denai posits that the magical equilibrium between worlds is destabilizing, causing the World Tree to attempt purging foreign elements from the demon world, specifically Neaia and Asuva. Soon, they find themselves unable to hear others and vice versa, and entries from Asuva's diary inexplicably vanish. Concerned for Astarotte's safety amid these developments, Neaia and Asuva conclude they must return to the human world. At a farewell gathering hosted at the castle, Astarotte exchanges heartfelt gifts with Asuva before surprising Neaia by asking him out on a date. Astarotte and Neaia embark on their date at the amusement park, where Astarotte finally opens up about her feelings to him. Amidst the rides and attractions, they share a heartfelt conversation, solidifying their bond and making plans to meet again soon. Meanwhile, Mercilida pays a visit to Asuva in the human realm, fostering a connection between them during Neaia and Asuva's stay. Back in the demon realm, Inai ingeniously uses Neaia's cell phone and the World Tree sapling at their home to establish communication with him and Asuva. Through this link, they discover that the clover-shaped mark on Astarotte's back was actually just a harmless bug bite, leading to Judith facing consequences for her misunderstanding. As Inai successfully stabilizes the World Tree's magic, creating a reliable portal between the worlds, Neaia and Asuva eagerly return to the demon realm. There, they reunite with Astarotte, whose growth marks have finally appeared on her back, signifying her maturation. And this is all for this video. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.